Sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting. And it only makes common sense.
On top of all of the subsequent years or previous years of illegal immigration and legal immigration, the system can only absorb so much.
You don't think the system...
There's enormous strain on education, health care in this country, and so on.
Well, let me stop you. You don't think our system here can absorb 1.5 million immigrants a year?
The point is to have control over it. I'm not sure that...
Number one, are you ready? Are you ready? We will build a great wall along the southern border.
12 million illegal aliens here in America.
Listen, we should enforce the law. How do we enforce the law? Yes, we should deport them. We should build a wall. We should triple the Border Patrol. And federal law requires that anyone here illegally that's apprehended should be deported. You know the biggest difference, Bill?
All illegal aliens who are here. Well, maybe not all, but most. Comprehensive immigration reform, when you hear that phrase, that means nothing will ever get done.
And Mexico will pay for the wall.
Nosotros necesitamos nuestra libertad para poder ser felices allá afuera. Todos nosotros los que estamos aquí no somos delincuentes, somos unos niños que no debemos de estar tanto tiempo encerrados, y las mamás sufren hambre en tal de que nosotros salgamos rápido de aquí, porque nosotros ya no queremos estar aquí, queremos irnos para con nuestros papás. Y todas las mamás están haciendo huelga de hambre. Aquí estoy con mi hermanito de 2 años y no es justo que un niño aguante tanto tiempo estar encerrado. No es justo. Yo les pido de corazón que algún día nos saquen a todos los que estamos aquí. Y nosotros ya queremos ese día. Que se haga hoy ese día. Yo se los pido.
Dice Gionso que las madres solo pueden estar retenidas 20 días. Esa es una falsa mentira, porque hay madres aquí que tienen 1 año y medio de estar detenidas. Esa es una falsa mentira, porque yo ya llevo 160 días detenida con mi niña, que ella quiere estar con su papá. Ella dice, quiero estar con mi hermanito a ir a la escuela, pero yo no puedo darle eso, no sé cómo hacer. Por eso estamos pidiendo que nos ayuden a obtener nuestra libertad, para expresarles nosotros nuestros casos, para decirles cómo venimos huyendo de nuestra delincuencia, de nuestro país. Yo soy una madre de Honduras, que aquí hay muchas madres hondureñas, salvadoreñas y Guatemala, pero yo vengo de Honduras, de San Pedro Sula, donde todos los días hay muertos. Ya no quiero esa vida para mis hijos. Yo quiero...
Because they think that they're illegal immigrants and not asylum seekers. When you say folks-in asylum seeker, I think the majority of the American society thinks that it's like people fleeing war in Syria and war-torn countries. But there's that was war, and then there's civil war. And these women are fleeing civil war. And when they come to the United States and go before a judge, they are winning asylum. They are eligible for asylum, but the majority of the American public sees them as quote-unquote illegal immigrants who come here for economic reasons and not because they're fleeing death.
Que tú tienes que salir. ¿Cuándo va a ser el día que tú vas a salir de ahí para que estés conmigo en la escuela, me cuides, vayas conmigo? Yo les quiero pedir que nos den tan siquiera una oportunidad de poder estar libres, porque ya no aguantamos este encierro. Somos jóvenes como cualquier otro, queremos nuestra libertad, tenemos derecho a pedir lo que sea, pero aquí en este lugar uno no puede pedir nada, porque para esto que trabajan aquí, uno es basura para ellos, porque no le hacen caso, nos tratan como delincuentes y ni siquiera lo somos. Queremos...
enero 19 de este año, yo me entregué a migración después de que crucé el río, porque venía con mis 2 niños, una de 15 años y el niño de 6 años. Sí, yo estoy pidiendo a los Estados Unidos un asilo político por maltrato intrafamiliar. Estuve en un lugar donde le dicen la hielera.
Ajá.
Luego de la hielera nos trasladaron como, la verdad no podría decirle porque pues uno como ahí no sabe a qué horas pasa el día, la noche, porque no ve una hora, uno solo sé que yo me entregué. Al siguiente día nos trasladaron para un lugar donde le dicen La Perrera. Ahí dormimos una noche, ahí pues sí supimos que había terminado la noche porque lo levantaron. Decían las demás personas que quizás ya habían estado otras veces ahí. Era mi primera vez, nunca había entrado a este país, es mi primera vez que yo entro aquí. Pero sí el lugar es extremadamente frío. Allí uno está en el suelo, está en el piso. Hay muchas personas. Solo tienen unas bancas del mismo piso, material del piso de cemento. Solo son 2 bancas, pero habíamos muchas personas, entonces unas teníamos que estar en el suelo. Y el ambiente, son diferentes celdas, pero en algunas celdas tenían las personas como unos papeles laminados, que esos dan como un calor en el cuerpo. Pero yo estuve ahí y no sé, quizás como no hablo el inglés, no pudieron entenderme que yo estaba viviendo de esas que tenían las personas de la otra celda. Pero en el área donde estábamos nosotros, a nadie le dieron, y había muchos niños, habían personas que gritaban que estaba muy frío y que los niños estaban con mucho frío, pero no hacían nada ni por poner un ambiente más caluroso, ni tampoco por darnos de esas papeles para podernos poner encima para que nos diera calor. No sé por qué, porque habían algunas personas de otras celdas que sí tenían de esas láminas. De hecho, cuando llegamos a la terrera que le dicen, ahí sí nos dieron una colchoneta para poder dormir en la colchoneta y un papel de esos. En la hielera estuvimos juntos todo el tiempo, solo cuando llegamos al otro lugar que según le dicen La Perrera, entonces sí, ahí la niña la pusieron en otra área porque como por la edad de ella, entonces a ella sí le dieron la oportunidad de que ella se bañara, le cambiaron la ropa y la pusieron en la área donde estaban las niñas de la edad de ella, y yo estuve sola con el niño, pero a nosotros sí no pudimos asearnos. La verdad es que teníamos ya como aproximadamente 4 o 5 días que no nos podíamos bañar, andábamos con la ropa sucia. Yo pues andaba mi ropa con la misma agua que yo me sumergí en el río, y y no, ahí solo a la niña le dieron nada más una oportunidad de que se fuera a ella a dar un baño y le dieron una ropa limpia, nueva, y le mandaron a lavar la que ella andaba, pero a nosotros, al niño y a mí no.
Es aterradormente lo que yo estoy viviendo, porque lloro, es tristeza la mía al saber de que mi niño lo tengo afuera, de saber de que mi niño no tiene a su madre para que lo lleve a su escuela, de saber de que mi niño tiene que llevar su comida, su lonchera a su escuela. Él ya no quiere ir a la escuela. Me pregunta, mami, ¿por qué no está aquí? Mami, ¿por qué no ha venido? Yo no le puedo dar esa respuesta porque no la tengo. No sé cuándo voy a salir de aquí. Lo único que yo quería decir, la injusticia que se vive en este centro, de ver tantas madres de que tienen 1 año y medio de estar detenidas con sus hijos. Se ven casos aterradores en este centro. Lo que queremos nosotros es nuestra libertad.
Anaí Mendoza. I worked with the CARA Pro Bono project in Dilley, Texas, where we provided legal services to mothers and their children detained at the South Texas Family Residential Center. There are 3 family residential centers in the United States. They were created under the Obama administration, and they're designed to detain women and their children who enter the United States seeking asylum. In the first detention center is in Dilley, Texas, and the capacity of the facility is about 2,200 women and children. It's the biggest one of the detention centers. The second is the Karnes Family Residential Center in Karnes City, Texas. It's a bit smaller, and at any given moment, there are about 500 women and children detained in that facility. And the third residential center is called the Berks Family Residential Center, and it's located in Berks, Pennsylvania. And it is a lot smaller and holds about 60 women and children at a time. These detention centers are called by immigration as processing centers, and people are held there before they're given a credible fear interview before the asylum office. If they pass their credible fear interview, they're released with a notice to appear in court, to whatever state their family is in. And if they don't pass their credible fear interview, they're deported. Asylum in the United States is given to somebody who has been a victim of persecution or has a future fear of persecution on account of 5 protected grounds: race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or a particular social group. Particular social group means that you've been persecuted because of a trait or characteristic that you can't change about yourself and that you shouldn't change about yourself. For example, if you are gay and you live in a country where there are laws against it, or where people discriminate against you for it or harm people for it, then you can gain asylum. The women in the detention centers are, for the majority, primarily from Central America, and they are detained, many of their claims are because they're victims of domestic violence. So many of them are fleeing persecution by their partners, who in these countries claim women as their property and treat them as such. Many of them are unable to leave these abusive relationships. And case law in the United States, in the case of the matter of ARCG, says that a woman was unable to leave their domestic relationship and is treated as property is eligible for asylum in the United States. one of the main reasons that many of the women are fleeing. Other women are fleeing horrific violence by transnational criminal organizations such as MS-13 and M18. They're fleeing extortion, they're fleeing death, they're fleeing gangs who are persecuting them because they're single mothers, because they're trying to live with their children, because they're sexually harassing them or their daughters. Those are a few examples.
Hemos tomado esta huelga de hambre para exigir, para que nuestras voces sean escuchadas, para que el presidente Obama, los senadores, todas las personas que tienen ese poder, que nos escuchen y que nuestras voces sean escuchadas, porque nosotros estamos pidiendo nuestros derechos.
The jail is a place where a person is held when they're deprived of their freedom. And these women are being held in detention centers, being deprived of their freedom. And because of that, conditions in the facility are not very good. There's anything other than legal service and legal equipment for us is termed contraband. For example, we can't bring toys into the detention center as contraband. Recently, they banned crayons for children at the Clarence Family Residential Center. The women in Delhi are usually there for 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. The majority of them are held for that time. The women at Harvard are usually held for that same similar amount of time. The women at Berks some of them have been held for more than a year. And that's where the conditions are, I'd say, the worst, because many of the children have suicidal thoughts, many of the mothers have suicidal thoughts. Even in Clarence and Delhi, there's a woman who has attempted to commit suicide. In Delhi, a few months back, they were forced vaccinations for them. I would probably say that the worst condition is the psychological abuse they have to go through just by virtue of being detained. Before they actually get to these detention centers, they're put into border processing cells. So what happens is somebody will present themselves at the border and say that they're seeking asylum, or somebody will get caught trying to cross the border, having already crossed the border, and they'll be detained in a place called the Yalera. It's a big, and so then I guess would translate to an ice box. It's this big, open room with gates, and hundreds of women and their children they have cement floors, and just the women and children are put into one little gate, and they have freezing temperatures. I think that it's so that there aren't any diseases that get passed on, but that's not the case. The freezing temperatures, and their Customs and Border Patrol, the people that pick them up, basically harass them, yell at them, degrade them to convince them to send deportation, and some of them do. After they're held at that border processing center, they're transferred to a place called Detention, which is a dog pen, and it's a little bit better there. The women aren't on the floor. The women and children aren't forced to be on the floor. They can be on they have to give them these little, very thin, almost like yoga mats for them to sleep on. And then from there, they're transferred to the detention centers, which are the bigger ones. There they have access to, showers, finally.
Nuestra libertad de salir afuera. Aquí hay una madre también que tiene a su niña afuera, y esa niña también la necesita tanto. No sabemos el día que vamos a salir de este lugar. No sabemos la hora, pero solo Dios sabe, y yo sé que vamos a obtener nuestra libertad.
So at Jerry, there's one medical center. The person that is, quote unquote, the doctor We are not sure if they are actually a doctor. We don't think that they are. If anyone arrives there and has some sort of issue, headache, a lot of them catch a cold from the freezing temperatures in the hielera. They aren't given any, they aren't prescribed medicine. Very rarely are they actually given pills. They're told to go to the cafeteria and drink honey and with hot water and tea. On occasion, there are infant babies, and when they're sick, they're not provided any sort of food. They don't have milk for babies, like, I don't know what it's called, but the milk that babies usually take other than the breast milk, baby milk. They don't provide that. If somebody is sick and they go to the medical center, I think there's a story of this online. They have to wait in really long lines. Right now, what's happening is if you're sick and you go to the medical center, you basically wait there all day until you're seen. And when you are seen, you're told, just take some rest, just drink some water, lay down. You're never prescribed anything. There was actually a case of a woman, let's call her Marie, who was very sick, and he put her in medical isolation with her son, who was about 4 years old, and she had gotten a negative decision on her critical care interview, so she had to do the interview again, and she did it in a very non-confidential state. It was her on the phone and then the medical staff that was being over her. She got sick. They finally released her because they said that she was better, but she still had a negative decision, so she was transferred to the Birth Family Residential Center. When she was there, she got sick again, and they thought that she had some sort of another medical issue. They put her back into medical isolation with her child. She was really, really ill, and they kept sending her to the ER. They sent her to the hospital where she was under observation. The doctors told her that she had syphilis, and she was treated there. I think they put some sort of shots in her, but they were very, very painful. It turns out that I finally decided, when she got sent to the hospital and put into isolation there, her child was left at the detention center, which is illegal. They need to have released the child to a family member, call Child Protective Services. The child was left alone at the detention center, and when he was crying all the time, the mothers at the detention center tried to take care of him, but the staff wouldn't let them. So the mom was eventually released because of medical conditions. When she was released, she went to go see a doctor, and the doctor told her that she didn't have syphilis. And there are no records of what the hospital did to her while she was there. So they basically treated this woman for syphilis, even though she didn't have syphilis. The term family detention center is actually inaccurate because some of the women come with their husband or their partner and their child, and when they're put into these hieleras, the ice box, they're separated from their husbands. These family residential centers are only for mothers and their children, and the husbands get sent to a whole other array of detention centers. I mean, there are detention centers for single females, for single males, and then for women and their children. And so they do get separated from their partners. While you're at a detention center, you're not separated, but sometimes women come with like their grandchildren or like their children's cousins. Anyone who's not their biological child or an illegally adopted child is separated from them at the border processing center. it's a very arbitrary process that is focused on deterrence. So when, let's say 2004, a mother and her child arrived at the border, they were released at the border. No, they weren't sent to a detention center. The detention centers didn't exist for mothers and their children. And only until, and now what happens at the border, like what's happening at the border right now, is that the majority of the people that arrive, they're released to their family members and given a notice to appear that says, please present yourself before a judge so that your case can be reviewed for any sort of relief, whether it be asylum or not. A very select few of the women are very arbitrarily chosen, and they are sent to these family detention centers. So what that shows is that there's no rhyme or reason why they're being detained. You know, like they don't have a criminal record, none of them do. Then why is it that most of them are released and some of them are sent to the detention center? And I think it's because the United States government, the Obama administration thinks that if some of them are detained, they were going to contact, their family members and tell them, don't come to the United States. You're going to be put into a jail. And they think that people this will deter people from coming, which is illegal. You can't open a detention center for deterrence purposes in immigration law. But that's what's happening. And that doesn't make any sense on the other side, because even if the women who are detained, call back home and tell the family members, don't come in and get put into jail, all these women are looking for asylum. If somebody is trying to kill you in your country, you are going to leave your country and you're going to come to the United States. So even if you are going to be put into a jail, some women come, they know that they will be put into a jail, and they still come. And it's because what's going on in these countries in Central America is a humanitarian crisis. These gangs are completely taking over the country, and no one is safe. So many people are beyond like the women who are being persecuted by the gangs, women being persecuted by their husbands. You have to run out of there. You don't have any other option. And then when you get to the United States, to be put into this jail, even though you're looking for asylum, doesn't make any sense. Especially if not all of them are being put into jail, just some of them. And some of them that are being put into jail are random. It's arbitrary. So I think that the easiest solution is to close down these detention centers, to let the women go live with their families and let them go to court and file their case just how it was happening before, without having to detain people.
Yo quiero salir con mi niña, estar con mi niño afuera, porque él me necesita tanto, no sé cómo hacer. Yo quiero, por eso pido mi libertad, y hay muchas madres de que ellas están pidiendo su libertad. Hay madres que están en la huelga de hambre, ya no aguantan esas madres, ya no aguantan, ellas dicen que ya no aguantan, pero ellas siguen porque no tenemos ninguna respuesta, no hemos obtenido ni una respuesta de migración. Hay madres que se salieron de las huelgas porque fueron amenazadas, diciéndoles que nuestro gobierno iba a tomar cuentas con nuestros hijos, que nos iban a quitar nuestros hijos. Yo soy una madre de que yo me salí de la huelga, porque me exigieron y me dijeron que si yo no me salía de la huelga me iban a quitar a mi niña. Esto es injusto lo que vivimos en este lugar, este encerramiento de que solo salimos afuera y de ahí ya en la noche ir a dormir a las 4 paredes. Esto es injusto lo que estamos viviendo en esta cárcel.